content versus consume is much higher on the creation than any other platform out there. One of the main reasons for that is effects. In this lecture, we're going to dive deeper into effects. I'll explain what it is and how you can use it for your advantage. Effects are either visual overlays or little games that TikTok has created that makes it super easy to create content. These effects are often part of trends or trending videos on TikTok, so it's very easy to use them, and it's one of the ways to hop on that trend train and be able to push your video out to more users. People are familiar with trends that are popular, and if you're using a trend, they're more likely to actually watch the video because they know what to expect, but you also put your own spin on the trend. So over here, I am in my phone, and I'm inside the TikTok app, and I'll show you how you can use some of the effect. So we're going to go ahead and create a new video over here. As you can see, now we have the camera. I've clicked on the create a new video button. So on the bottom left side, it has the effect button, and this will show you all of the effects that are currently available. So over here, we have the trending effects, and if I scroll to the side, we have new effects that are available. Maybe there are some for pets, AR, just augmented reality, face filters, and Norse mythology. So go back and go to trending, and over here any saved effects that I might have. So I'll go over here, and something to note, there are new ones coming up all the time, and also your different regions will have different effects available, so depending on where you are, you may not see the same ones that I have over here. But I can just show you two of them real quick. So this one is a face tracking effect. So as you can see, as I move my head around, the camera will track my face. This one is very popular, and I've done a video with this one later. I'll show you that one. And if you scroll through, there's all kinds of effects. This one's very popular. So the one on the top right is a little submarine, and it was a submarine challenge. It basically tracks your head, your face, and it'll move the submarine accordingly, and then you play a little game. So go ahead and click on it. As you can see, the way I move my face now moves the little submarine. This is what makes TikTok videos very easy to create. You don't really have to have an idea. You can just hop on a trend and do the same thing using an effect. So in the actual videos, if you see on the in the home screen on the For You page, whenever there is an effect being used, you'll see it in the actual video. So let me show you what it looks like. So over here, there's a video that I recorded from my page. And one thing to notice, on the bottom left, you see it says face tracking. So it shows you that I'm using that specific effect. If I click on face tracking, it shows me a list of videos, and all these videos are using this specific trend. So if you see it in a homepage, and you like the trend, you should add it to your favorites. Just like there, I've added it. And you can see the different videos. And here they're organized in order of popularity, so the most popular ones at the top. If I click on one, so you get the point. If we scroll through, you'll see that the videos at some point of the video are using this effect. If I go back, this is the way I was talking about why I moved to a different country, and these were the arguments. And as you get the point, this specific trend was very popular because he was using face tracking and he was using that specific sound as well. So if you use those two, you're sort of part of that trend, and then you have a higher chance of your video going popular because people already know what to expect and they're looking for different twists on those kind of trends. And it's the same on your home feed. So for example, here I've scrolled and there's a specific video over here. And as you can see on the bottom left, it says there's a little bold star and it says rainbow mode. And if I click on that, it'll show me all of the videos they're using the rainbow mode. And I could click on the little camera icon on the bottom, and you will be using it. So this is the rainbow mode. This is a very easy way to find what trends people are using, what effects, and then use them to your advantage. And again, you don't have to use all the trends specifically if you have a business account. Maybe you want to use dance videos, any of those, but you can adapt it. You can still communicate your message in a more fun and a more creative way using a trend. Now, one of the easiest ways to really grow a business account and get more attention that way is to communicate your message and maybe to communicate about your product or your market or whatever is relevant by using these effects. The real key is you have to spend enough time on TikTok. You have to scroll through the videos to understand what trends are popular, and then you should jump on it as soon as possible. This is why the trends move very quickly. That's why it's not a good idea to have too big of a content plan. We do have a lecture on how to prepare your content and how to schedule some of it. But if you plan too far ahead, you're not going to be able to be adaptive and dynamic, and some of the trends might only last for a week or two, so you need to hop on them when they are active, when they're hot. In the next lecture, we're going to take a look at titles. Titles are a great way to add value or substitute your video. In this lecture, we'll take a look at titles and how you can use them in your own videos. Titles are basically very simple pieces of text you can add to your video, and they're used as a substitute. So if you're recording, maybe you're recording your product as a video, or you're recording some action or something that's not just you speaking to the camera, maybe there's no voice, but you're just recording an action, you can add text that will substitute and explain what is happening. You shouldn't be adding too much text, but 1, 2, 3 words might be able to add some value to the video. This is basically what they're used for. Titles are also great to help your video go more viral in countries that are not necessarily English-speaking countries. So when you post content, it'll be delivered to the region or to the country where your SIM card is located. But if the video is really good, it will get distribution in other countries as well. And maybe even if your video is in English, but maybe somebody's English is not fantastic, and they'll be able to follow along if you add titles. So again, you shouldn't be sort of scripting out the entire video, but you can very simply add sort of bullet points or the highlights to the video, and it will help a user follow along to see what you're doing. So I'll show you real quick what I mean. I have my phone with me over here. We're going to record a short video. In this specific case, I'm just recording myself talking, and we'll go ahead and click next. And you see on the bottom, it says text. So over here, I'm able to add text. And like I said, you should be using this as a supplement or a way to add value, or anything that's not said in the video, you can add it over here. So I'll just write marketing tips. You can also sometimes, I like to use titles as a sort of if you imagine a title for a video, I will add it in that way. So it helps to sort of set the scene and explain what is about to happen. So if you write it just like this, it can be difficult to see on that background. So I'll go ahead and click on edit. And on the bottom, on the left side of the keyboard, you see the little A in a frame. If I click on it, I'll put color background, and it makes the title much easier to see. One thing to remember, you shouldn't put it too close on the bottom or on the top, because there's other text when you post your video. At the bottom, it has the name of the author and the song, so you should put it somewhere that's visible also, but you shouldn't be covering the action, so to put it right there. If you put 2 fingers on the text, and you can make it larger or smaller. So you're going to put it somewhere where it will add value, but it doesn't necessarily interfere. So here I wanted to show you, here's a video that I've recently posted, and this is a video where text was very important, and I used titles to explain sort of a story I was going through. So in this video, I'm basically trying to communicate that teachers and many people around you will not believe you're trying to start a new business, and I've used just video of myself without talking, but I used sort of titles to explain the story. So I'll just play the video real quick. Can I hide in hills of California? Because these hills have eyes and I got paranoia. I hurt myself sometimes. Is that too scary for you? Watch me take what I can. So you get the point. In this video, basically, the titles help me explain the story and tell what's happening. In the next lecture, we're going to take a look at descriptions and hashtags.
Yeah, I mean, I do get that adding the titles is pretty tedious, especially if you're trying to edit on the actual mobile app itself. You know, it's hard to get your thumbs in the right spot and, you know, make the titles not look terrible. But are they necessary? No, they're not necessary. There's plenty of accounts that don't use titles that grow. It just depends on what you're trying to post. Can you use them effectively? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I generally think of titles as one of the most effective ways of increasing the quality of your content. You know, if you're making a video that is just not, I mean, you're not Steven Spielberg, like you don't know how to put together a 60-second video that captures everyone's attention. It's immediately obvious what's going on and it looks good. Titles can focus their attention really well. You know, if you make, like Darius, you recently did a video where you were exploring abandoned beaches. Okay, now imagine if you didn't put a title on that. You're just walking around on a beach. Why would anyone watch it, right? Like they don't understand the context of it. But you put the title of coronavirus just, you know, means abandoned beaches. Then it's like, oh, okay, that frames this video. It's all about the spookiness of it. You know, if I went and filmed at Chernobyl, right, and I showed you all the busted up like houses and the old like infirmaries and stuff with the dolls sitting there with one eye falling out and stuff, you wouldn't understand what I'm filming. But if I put it up like, this is so creepy, this is Chernobyl, you know, then it actually makes sense, and you can frame their mind, not frame them like for murder. Yeah, and so I think you're kind of wasting an opportunity if you haven't thought of at least trying out titles. I think also, you know, since watch time is so important, oftentimes you put a title at the very beginning, you can tease people into watching the whole thing. Like, I know it's a little spammy, and you can try better ways of doing this, but you can see how effective this is just to wait for the ending at the beginning of your video, and then watch your average watch time, just for putting that. You know what I mean? Like, some people might hate it, but it's gonna be enough for people to go, okay, I'll invest the extra 10 seconds because I'm being told something, there's some payoff at the very end. And if you never even tried that, like, I don't know, it just seems like a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like to use the titles in 2 main ways. Number one is, like you said, framing. So providing information that's not obvious from the video itself, especially at the beginning. And if people don't know what the video is about, they're going to scroll. If it's not obvious in the first 1 or 2 seconds, they're going to scroll. And maybe your scene of the 2 seconds is necessary. You need to have it there, but you need to explain to people what it's about, so you can frame it with the title. And the second one I like to use it for is providing additional information or sort of summarizing what I've already said. So if I'm talking about, let's say I'm doing a video and explaining what are the top 3 hacks to create your best Facebook ads. And as I'm explaining these hacks, I might list them on the screen to sort of summarize what I'm talking about. Again, it helps people to pay attention, and it helps people to focus, and it will increase the watch time in the long run. Also, sometimes you might have a video where you don't have any audio at all, and you're just not talking there. You don't want to do a voiceover, but you can put in the actual text there to explain what's happening there, and again increase the watch time. So it is not essential, it's not necessary, but I've seen from my own experience that using titles will help increase the watch time. And I've also seen some accounts, for example, one guy's posted a video and used a title and got, let's say, 30,000 views, something sort of nothing crazy. And then the next day, he posted exactly the same video. Everything was the same. Everything was the same. The only thing he changed was the title. Just framed it a little better, made it a bit more interesting, a bit more funny, made a bit of a joke out of the video, and bam, it got 1 million views. So the title can have a huge effect if you use it properly.
So yeah, definitely. Are they necessary? No, but they're a huge opportunity. I think they're one of the easiest ways of increasing your watch time, which is going to increase your reach.
Hashtags on TikTok are used actually very differently than they are used in Instagram and Facebook, for example. In this lecture, we'll talk about hashtags and your video description, how to use them to your advantage, and make sure your video gets as much views as possibly can. Let's start with the description. So the description, once you're ready to post your video, you'll have the little option to write a description, and the description is very, very short on TikTok. The character limit is at 100, and people don't use descriptions much. They don't use them. They definitely don't do very long descriptions. So if you have to write a description, do something very, very brief, very short. 1 or 2 sentences top to describe what's happening in the video. Ideally, you can add something more valuable, so don't just describe what's happening, but if you can add another perspective or another view, you can use the description box to add even more value. The same whether you are a business or a person, you could use the description box to write something that's interesting and makes the video even more engaging. As you might know, on Instagram, the hashtags are used in order to gain views and popularity. So when you post a video or post a picture on Instagram, you'll also add hashtags either in the description or in the comments, and you get a lot of the views from the hashtags directly. A lot of the people on Instagram will search popular hashtags. So if this was a lesson on marketing, you would be searching hashtag marketing, and you get a lot of the videos, a lot of attention. That's how people are constantly searching. On TikTok, however, it's quite different. On TikTok, very few people actually search for direct hashtags. It is possible, you can certainly do it, but most people discover videos in their feed, not through the different hashtags. So what actually happens is that when you're on TikTok and you search for hashtag marketing, you'll see the videos there. But then when you go to your feed and you'll scroll, you'll see more videos that are tagged with hashtag marketing. So hashtags still serve the same purpose of discoverability. They'll allow you to find users for your video, but not in the same sense. So they're more sort of indirectly linked than they are directly affected, for example, like on Instagram. And it is the same concept with long tail or popular hashtags. If you imagine a graph, and the most popular hashtags are the most difficult to get because they have the most traffic and most competition. And then as the popularity goes down, also the competition goes down. When you're just starting out, you should choose less popular hashtags because it'll be easier for you to compete and be higher ranked. When you scroll on TikTok, you'll see videos organized by popularity. So the most popular, the ones with the most views, will be the very top, and then on the bottom. So if your video is number 100, not many people are going to see it. Ideally, you should start on what we call long tail hashtags, so the ones that are lower in popularity, lower in competition. And then as your account grows, you can increase the hashtags by popularity and have more popular hashtags, and you'll be ranked higher and higher in those kind of videos. So I have my phone over here, and I'll show you how a user might discover hashtags, and then how you can use hashtags and descriptions to your advantage. So let's start off with the hashtags. I'm going to go ahead, click on the search button, and then let's say you're searching for marketing, so you want to do hashtag marketing. I'll go ahead and click, and it'll show me the top, which is a collection of the top videos. Here I'll see the top users, top videos, and also the top hashtags. So if you are trying to figure out what are good hashtags for your specific industry or for your niche, you should look up that word, and then you'll get a list of all the hashtags that are relevant to that one. And again, we can see they're organized by popularity. So the very top, hashtag marketing has 380 million views. You get 180, 52 million, etc., etc. So at the beginning, I would choose something less popular, but again, you don't want to choose something that has no traction, something so complicated that it has 5 views that's not very useful. It's sort of a balance in between there and how advanced is the growth on your personal account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on digital marketing, and it'll show me all of the videos that are ranked for digital marketing. So you can see from the top the most popular, and then going to less and less popular. I can click on the video. I'll pause it, and it shows me on the bottom of the video on the left side, there's a short description. It says network on Instagram for free, and then it has all the different hashtags. It is less hashtags that are used in Instagram, so this one has 6, 7 different hashtags. And again, to discover more videos within those, I could click on any of these. So let's say I'll click on personal branding, and it'll show me all of the videos that are ranked for this one, hashtag personal branding. And over there on the top, we see it has 97.5 million views. So let's go back, and you can also click on videos, and it'll show you the most popular videos that are ranked for hashtag marketing. So now if I would search for these hashtags and I would click through the videos, the algorithm is basically learning more about me, my preferences, and if I will go back to my home feed in the For You page, it'll serve me more videos that are hashtagged or tagged with marketing. Now I'll show you briefly how you can use the descriptions and hashtags when you're posting a video. So over here, let's say I am recording a video, and we'll just pretend record this much. We'll go next. Again, you would do the normal editing as you would. Again, click next, and then I get the description box over here. So on the top, you see there's a describe your video. You can also add hashtags, and you can also tag friends. So if you are collaborating with somebody, or you want to get somebody's attention, or you want to mention somebody in a video, you can tag friends. So I'll go ahead and click on description, and let's just say this is a top 5 tips on using hashtags. So this is how you would write out the actual video. And then I can click on done, and I have the description. Again, use something very short, something very catchy. It can maybe be used as a sort of a title of the video. You don't have to actually use any big descriptions. And then what you want to do is go ahead and click on hashtags. And on the bottom right side of my keyboard, you can see there's already a hashtag over there. And then it'll show me hashtags that I've used before, and I can search for new ones. So I would put digital marketing, and as you can see, from top to bottom, it shows me the one that I actually typed, and then some other videos, and it'll show me how many views those videos have. So you could do hashtag digital marketing. Again, I could do digital marketing, and then I would choose maybe the next one that has tips. You could do TikTok marketing, and you'll see. Now, in terms of what kind of hashtags you want to use and the number, I think the best thing you can do is look at creators in your niche, the ones that are doing really, really well. And you can see how many hashtags they're including. They'll show you the number that's right for you. As we saw, a lot of those have 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't put too much, but also you have the opportunity to use more than one. So 5 might be the right number, or somewhere around there. But look at the top performers in your specific niche. And then you can also look at what hashtags they're using. Obviously, if a really popular account is using very sort of main big hashtags like hashtag marketing, you will not be able to rank for those, but you could click on that hashtag, see what other videos, and check out other relevant hashtags. So this is one way to discover what hashtags are relevant for your specific videos. And at the end, if you're collaborating with somebody, what you can do is put in the @ sign, and it'll drop down a list of my friends, and I could tag people or my friends in the videos, and this will tag them. These are people that I'm following or I'm friends with. And then you'll be able to tag them in the video as well, and they'll be visible. So when it's on the homepage, we'll be able to click through and then see that person as well. So now you know that you should keep your description very short, maybe 1 to 2 sentences. In terms of the hashtags, you could use maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hashtags, but look at your competition, look at what they're doing, the popular accounts in your niche, and learn from them. And you also know that hashtags are used a little differently than they're on Instagram, but if somebody searches for a hashtag, those users will still see videos that are also used with that hashtag. So this is how you can tell the algorithm you want to show your videos to that type of target group. In the next lecture, you can follow along as we put this all together, and we're actually going to create a post from scratch, and you can follow along.
Okay, so we have a series of questions around hashtags. Yeah, hashtags are always a big thing. I mean, at every platform, hashtags are big, especially at the beginning of a platform, the very beginning, since people don't have discovery routines for finding new content. They use hashtags pretty heavily. So I guess the first question we have is, when you're adding hashtags to your post, how do you know if the hashtag you're using is going to be relevant to your account? The first thing I would say is that you're not really, it's not about if it's relevant to your account. It's is it relevant to your post specifically, right? Because, let's see, I don't know. Let's say I'm doing TikTok videos of slow motion videos, and I put slow motion, but one of my videos is not slow motion. It's a behind the scenes on it, or it's just the one time I made a post that had nothing to do with my theme. Okay, well, that's not going to make sense, right? Because it's going to show up on a hashtag that doesn't relate to that video. So if someone sees that under that feed, and it's not relevant to the specific hashtag they found it under, they're not going to like it, and they're not going to go and look at your profile. So really, it's more about what's relevant to the post, and you try to align your posts with whatever your content strategy is for your account. You know, if you post mainly 3 different types of things, okay, well then, you know, when you're posting one post to one specific theme for your account, then you find hashtags that match that specific post.
Yeah, so I chose a personal strategy of doing both professional tips and tricks and those type of videos, and also doing funny content or interesting content that may not be about marketing. And as an example, I did a video with me and my girlfriend where going back and forth, talking, using a 1 sentence from each of the languages we speak, just going back and forth, so showing off what language we speak. And there I use specific hashtags for like couple comedy or couple or languages, what was relevant for that specific type of video. And then I did another video where I was talking about Facebook ads, and then I would include hashtags about marketing and Facebook ads and side hustle and how to make money using Facebook ads, for example. So yes, you want to make it contextual and relevant to your content, because then it tells TikTok that this type of content is relevant to that specific niche. You're not necessarily going to get a lot of followers from the hashtags directly, but it's a way to show TikTok that if this is a video about Facebook ads, you might want to show it to people who already like Facebook ads or watch content about Facebook ads.
Yeah, I think right now hashtags are more about signaling to TikTok what your thing's about, because TikTok's still pretty early, so they don't have a lot of like AI that can parse the video and figure out what it's about. Whereas like Facebook and Instagram are pretty mature with regards to that stuff. They can figure out very quickly what it is you're posting. You know, YouTube, for instance, will take out the audio of every video, parse it, and that's how they figure out what you're talking about. Now, TikTok's probably going to add that in the future, but TikTok is not as verbal as YouTube, right? You don't announce at the beginning of your 60-second video what you're about to be doing. So hashtags are still a very good way of signaling to them, please show this to the right people. And therefore, if they can show it to the right people, more people are going to like it. It's going to hit higher engagement thresholds, and therefore get probably displayed to the next batch of people. Another question we have about hashtags. So can I post hashtags in the comments like I do in Instagram? No, you can't. In Instagram, you do it in the comments because it just looks cheesy when you put it in the caption, and it just looks unprofessional. And so that's why you put it in the comments. And also because with Instagram, you can bury it very quickly. TikTok currently does not read hashtags in the comments. So that's not worth doing. Are any hashtags banned? This is what, yeah, I'd imagine there are, but they should be fairly obvious. You know, if it's not family friendly, it's not going to happen. Remember, it is a Chinese app, so there's some things that, you know, the Chinese government's pretty sensitive about. So don't post hashtag free Tibet or Xinjiang, you know, concentration camps. That's probably not going to fly. But I don't know. It seems like it probably just comes down to common sense. I don't know.
Yeah, and sort of a simple hack or trick to use to find out what is banned and what is not is when you're posting a video, and in the description of the video, you'll put in the hashtags. You'll put hashtag whatever, and if that hashtag has 0 views, it is most likely banned. At least if it's like a general word that's not like super. It's not like if it's a random string of numbers and letters, it just has 0 views. But if it's a common word that's normally found in a dictionary and 0 views, it is most likely banned. So you shouldn't use that hashtag, and that's how you avoid getting your videos banned, basically.
Yeah. Next question is, why is it that some videos go viral without any hashtags at all? Yeah, it's because hashtags they're not crucial. They help you tell the algorithm what your video is about. It helps you get that initial kindling of viewership. But your content is still 99% of what's going to carry the algorithm. So if you have really good content, no hashtags, yeah, of course. The hashtags are just a small portion of it. So yeah, I don't think about like you have to do hashtags, because at the end of the day, content is king, and your content's going to carry it. But it will help you, especially with your content that's kind of on the edge, where it might get picked up or it might not. That's where we think it's especially effective. It's worth doing. I don't see any negative to putting hashtags, so I don't really suggest avoid doing it. But don't be surprised if someone posts 40 hashtags and it doesn't go anywhere, and somebody puts 0 and it does work.
Yeah, hashtags just help categorize your content. It just puts it into the buckets of where it needs to be seen, but it doesn't. That's about it.
Okay, the next question we had about hashtags. You might have seen this, but a lot of people will put the hashtag for you or FYP as a hashtag. So the question is, should I do that? To give you guys a little bit of context, the For You page is that, you know, you in your normal feed, you can select out of your normal feed and go to the For You page. And that's kind of like the Explore page you might see on like Instagram. That's where if you get your video on For You pages, it means it's being selected by the algorithm and delivered directly to larger groups of people. So it's usually seen as a good thing. But the question then becomes, does it make sense to put that as a hashtag?
So the basic answer is that no, putting hashtag For You page or FYP does not help you, because all your videos are displayed on the For You page by default. So your videos will be displayed as soon as you post them to a small group of people, and if they're good videos, they have engagement and watch time, then they'll be displayed to more and more viewers. But you don't have to put those hashtags in order to have that. That happens by default. And we know also that TikTok has confirmed it does not help you to get to the For You page. So don't use those, and use the very, very good real estate of the description page or the description of the video for other relevant and impactful hashtags.
Yeah, the FYP thing is kind of like there's a lot of things in human behavior where someone will do it, and then another person will copy, and they'll copy, and by the time thousands of people are doing it, nobody knows why they're doing it. I think that's kind of the same thing. Like, maybe a long time ago it actually worked, but like it's not real anymore.
Just to add, what you will also see that sometimes I'll post videos, and almost every single video, somebody will comment like FYP or hashtag FYP. People comment that on my videos. I guess they just think it's a good video and it should be displayed there, but it doesn't help. Even putting in comments or any of that, it doesn't help. It does not affect where it is displayed or if it's shown on the For You page. So you don't have to do that.
Okay, the last question I think for hashtags, I think it was worth touching on, is should I use other language hashtags? So some people are bilingual, or they're targeting multiple markets. Should they do hashtags in both languages? My general advice is no. because you should focus on one language. It's just going to be easier for you to grow. If you have this bipolar setup where half your content's in Spanish and half's in English, or whatever your language set is, it's just going to lower the effectiveness of all your posts, because if someone sees a Spanish post and they go to your account, they see some are in English, it's going to confuse them, less likely to follow you, less likely to engage. So by the same track, my general advice is just stick to one language only, and just pick one right out of the gate. I'm sure there's some edge cases where you just can't help it, that it's going to be both. You know, like if you're making an account that really is targeting a bilingual community or something, that might be an edge case, but my general advice is if you can, pick one language.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason to use other languages. Use the language, or use the hashtags of your particular language. Otherwise, there's no real reason to do it. If anything, it might actually hurt you if you use a language. Like if your videos are in English and you use a Spanish hashtag, people will find that video because of the Spanish hashtag, but then the video's in English, they're not going to watch, they'll skip through, and they will actually lower the watch time. So if anything, it can actually hurt you.
Yeah, you can have a great video, and everybody who comes to it thinking it's in English, watches it in English, loves it, but you have one hashtag that's in Spanish, all the Spanish viewers leave within a second or 2 seconds, that's going to kill your watch time average, and that's enough to just tank it sometimes. Okay, so those are some common questions on hashtags. If you guys have more questions on hashtags, just ask us in the Q&A, we'll put them in.
In this video, you can follow along as I create a new post completely from scratch. So I am here in my TikTok. I'm going to go ahead and click on the little plus button in the middle, and this will open the camera. And as we mentioned, we walked through the entire part. You can either record a video directly into the camera and edit it afterwards. I like to record my videos, as I mentioned, off TikTok, edit it in an app called Splice. I will talk about these things in future sections. But just so you know, I've already recorded a video, so I'll go ahead and upload it over here. Click on upload, and it'll show all of my videos. And here is the video. I'll turn down the volume, but it's basically an explainer video on helping people discover popular topics, and this is sort of a marketing tip. So this is the type of account that I've created, and these are the type of videos that I want to do. Over here, I've just imported a video. I could also trim it if I wanted to, but I've already edited the video, so I don't need to trim it. I'll just go ahead and click on next. And here we are in the editing section of the video. So we talked about the 5 main elements of a good post. Number 1 is the video, so that's taken care of. Number 2 is the sound. So normally I like to include a background sound in the videos if they don't have too much talking or too much audio for me. This video, I'm constantly talking in the video, so I'm not going to include any background sound. But just if you wanted to do that, you can just click on the bottom left on the sound icon. It'll jump up the sound. And let's say we wanted to include a song. One thing to remember is that a lot of them are only 10-15 seconds long. So if your video is 30 seconds, you need to find a song that's at least 30 seconds long. So I'll go ahead and click on TikTok Viral and see if there's a video. So for example, this second sound over here is 30 seconds. So if I wanted to include it, as you can hear, now it's playing in the background. Click on volume, and here we could adjust the volume. So you could include it, as you can, I'm not sure if you can hear, but you can include it just as a very soft song in the background, and then have your main audio. TikTok account should I make? There's your topic for a video. Are you struggling to come up with new topics for your videos? Look up answerthepublic.com. You'll see this evil dude. Type in a topic. So I am actually going to keep the song because I think it sounds pretty good. It's not too distracting, but sometimes nice to have just the rhythm in the background. Although I'll make it a little quieter, maybe just at 3%. I still want it to be audible, but not distracting. There's your topic for a video. Are you struggling to come up with new topics for your videos? Look up